I'll let you crack on. Thanks, Nick. Nick Zhang, keeping it quiet on this occasion. No worries. We'll work on his English. I'll get to... So we'll allow the Senior X30 and Master X30 drivers to get themselves up to speed. They're going to head out on the course for their race, and it is going to be a very interesting one indeed. And I've just had some very exciting news about the finals of Senior and Master X30. For the finals, we are told that the Master X30 drivers are going to be given their own separate final. They will not be combined with the Senior X30 drivers for the final. They will get their own race final later. So we'll get a proper duel between the Master X30 drivers later, and that is really exciting. I can't wait for that. So as we get ourselves ready for the start in Senior X30, the drivers are on the rolling lap. Toby Gale, pole position alongside Kai Burke, the Australian. And as you look through the starting lineup, you can see just how many incredible drivers we've got to fight for the victory. It's going to be a really intense duel from the outset in Senior and Master X30. But the Masters will get to be split from the Seniors in the final, and they'll get a race of their own, which will be great to watch. Toby Gale and Kai Burke, Ethan Sito and Shavish Sedtil, Zadia Vraikal and Putra Adam, Ian Marwa and Wadapong Aimwachan, from Miguel Quinones and Cooper Fish, then TJ George and Kay Sachin, Ryan Gunavordana and Yuka Po, Bowen Tao and Paco Miguel Sarmiento, Zachary Boyce and Mohamed Ferros Fezrofozi, Tiru Kumaran and Corinne Kawa from Wedasak Aimwachan, and Austin Gale, Harry Tho, Tian Runchin, Melvin Shane, Issa Modfuad, Jiggy Javier, Megat Zulkanine, Abian Senaprabowo, Scott Wood, and Darren Formosa at the back of the field. So the 31 drivers ready for action. And we've got a staller. Someone's got a problem in the back of the field. It's one of the Force Racing drivers. I think that's Bowen Tao. So I think Bowen Tao's got a breakdown. We may go for another formation lap here. But no, we go racing. Kai Burke's got a good start level with Toby Gale as they go into turn one. Ethan Sito's trying to push the CS55 chassis to the inside line for second, and he's got there. Great start from Ethan Sito. That's exactly what he needed off the start. And we go green flags in the hairpin. Is everybody going to get through in one piece? Just about. My goodness me, it's going to get feisty from here on in. We saw how tough he got yesterday. Raikal tries to dive in for the inside and get second. He runs wide in the process, and that backs up the pack. So Raikal now in front of Burke, and that is one of the fireballs. That's got to be Putra Adam. So working their way further forward. Yuka Po trying to gain a move on the inside there of, I think, Cooper Fish in the Beryl Art, and they work through the hairpin. And we got a problem. Corinne Carr. Corinne Carr's got an issue with the Lando Norris chassis. She's dropping backwards through the field like a stone through water. Not a good start for Corinne Carr at all. What a shame for the Singaporean. Yet again, more bad luck. And this is from a driver who's been showing top 5 pace all weekend long. So now it's the lead for Toby Gale in front of Ethan Sito, Zadia Vraikal, Kai Burke, Putra Adams, Zavish Sedtil, Marwa, Aimwachan, Quinones, and TJ George. A great start for the Indian TJ George, looking so much more competitive today than yesterday. Meanwhile, Yuka Po is battling away with Austin Gale. How is Austin Gale in P12? That is mental. He was a long way back on the grid. Now he's dueling with Yuka Po. So the two of them are probably going to hold each other up for a while if they're not careful. Kai Burke versus Putra Adam, and Putra Adam dives through, gets the move on the Australian. And they're going to run side by side. Putra Adam is past. No worries at all. Shavish Sedtil tried to follow in and has not been able to complete the move. Wow, tough stuff so far then. But Toby Gale looking competitive up in the lead of the race in front of Ethan Sito. Sito looking so much more confident this weekend in the CS55 chassis for 7 Racing. This is exactly what he needed. Here comes Zadia Vraikal though, the Malaysian, reigning junior champion, now a senior contender, charging after the leaders. And it's incredible to think that none of the drivers currently in the top 4 are even in the top 3 of the Drivers' Championship. That is madness. So Toby Gale leads the way. Ethan Sito second. Zadia Vraikal making his bid on the inside though. And Vraikal gets the move. Into second goes the Malaysian. Good work on home soil for Zadia Vraikal in the DRM Paralympic. Putra Adam is then behind Ethan Sito. He wants to make the bid himself. 5th place for Kai Burke, then Sentil, Marwa, Wadapong Aimochan is battling away with Miguel Quiñones, and then it's Fozy. Although Fozy has now lost the place to the explorer of Yukapo. So up the crest we go once again. Toby Gale, a second clear of Zadia Vraikal and Ethan Cito, but here comes Putra Adam in the Fireball Motorsports kart. Putra Adam, he looks like he's never been away, and his comeback is giving the Fireball team plenty to cheer about in another frustrating weekend for the team. So Putra Adam pushing through turn one, trying to get this bid on Ethan Cito in third position. Bit of a slide from the CS55 chassis, but still all good for the moment. Looking for that ultimate move. This is not going to be easy to finish off, but Putra Adam can sense an opportunity, but then so too can the Australian right behind him, Kai Burke. Oh, and that's Ryan Gunavardena. Ryan Gunavardena, the Sri Lankan, with some kind of problem. I don't know whether he's had contact to sort out the mechanical issue. Oh, Putra Adam, contact! Kai Burke on the inside of Adam. As he goes for Cito, they rub wheels, and it's the man in front of it all, Kai Burke, who manages to escape. Then Sentil, then Cito, then Putra Adam in front of Ayan Marwa on the auto ink. So a proper shuffle of the deck. That's what happens when three drivers trying to go to the same bit of racetrack at the same time. Very tricky stuff indeed. And so now the contenders have got to find another bright spot to make the move. 10 laps to go, and this looks like it's going to get even more physical. Yukapo holding his nerve at the moment, and he's battling away with Miguel Quiñones. This is the fastest the Philippines racer has looked all season long, and it's great to see Quiñones really knocking on the door of the top 10 a bit more regularly. So now Toby Gale stretching away to a second and a half from Zadia Vraikal. This is the kind of race he wanted. He didn't want pressure. He didn't want anybody hunting him down. Quiñones still matching Yukapo for pace. Fozy, P10, Wadapong Aimochan. And now we look further back in the pack, and there is the 291 of Cooper Fish. Factory Fish, as they call him. So Cooper Fish in front of Austin Gale, Megat Zulkarnain. So Gale has lost a bit of time. That's unfortunate for Austin Gale. He was looking at P12 at one point, but he's lost a bit of momentum. Certainly very quick on the first lap, but it's not been very easy for him to continue that trajectory. So the race is still very, very close to match at the moment. But it's going to be interesting to see where Ayan Marwa can make that ultimate bid. The Auto Ink driver with the Fernando Alonso kart, or the Alonso chassis, I should say, which is part of the Kart Republic group, of course. So it's essentially a Kart Republic chassis with the Oviedo Alonso Racing colours on it. Ayan Marwa making good work. Look at Toby Gale. In all the chaos behind him, the one thing that stays true is Toby Gale's outright pace. No worries at all for the MRC Birilla. This is exactly what he wanted today. So Zadia Vraikal second to Kai Burke, Shavish Sentil and Ethan Cito now in front of Putra Adam. And then Ayan Marwa in front of Yukapo, Miguel Quiñones and Fezro Fozy. Now, for those who weren't able to keep up to date with the timing yesterday, Fezro Fozy's victory disappeared at the end of yesterday because he had a front fairing penalty of 5 seconds and then a 10-second penalty for gaining time before the course line. He made overtaking moves before the control line, and that obviously docked him some time. Wheel-to-wheel stuff this between TJ George and Cooper Fish. They're having a great race of it. There is Fozy. He crossed the line first yesterday in Heat 2, but it was taken from him with a pair of penalties. One for a front fairing loose and one for passing before the control line. Oh, and we've got carts off the road then. Couple of carts going off the road. That's one of the Fireballs pulling off the road and retiring on the infield. That is a big disaster for Kay Sachin, I think it is, the Singaporean. Yep, Kay Sachin is pulled off the racetrack and retired and then rejoined at the back of the field. So the other Fireball, Putra Adam, still squabbling with Ethan Cito on the CS55. 8 laps to go is about to become 7 laps to go, with Toby Gale doing a grand job in front of Zadia Vraikal and Kai Burke. Now, what's happening currently in Master, because this is the last race of the weekend for the Masters, racing on the same racetrack as the seniors. They'll get their own separate final later on. And it's currently Kumaran ahead of O and Aimochan. And then, oh, the inside line, there goes the move. from Fosey. He makes the bid then on Mika Quinones, and that's going to put him into 9th position. Now he's got the audacity to signal to Quinones. Come on, mate, come and work with me. No chance, you've just overtaken me. Do you think I want to do anything with you right now? Out in the lead of the race, Toby Gale, loving his life at the moment. No worries at all in the lead as the midfield is getting proper squirrely. Now the Masters battle is starting to intensify because just outside the top 20 we've got a great duel going on. Kumaran, O and Aimo-chan all racing for the Masters victory. I'll try and keep up with that as we watch the seniors. Fortunately, they'll get their own final a little later on, which is great news for the Masters. But for the moment, we'll focus on the seniors up front. Out of the final turn, charging down the straight, Ethan Sito, Putra Adam, and Ayan Marwa. Now Zadia Raikhal's got pressure from the Australian Kai Burke. Burke is looking for his move. Raikhal is defending with 6 laps to go. Zadia Raikhal clearly doesn't feel the kart's got any more pace because he's choosing to protect from Kai Burke rather than race with him. So clearly he feels that Toby Gale, 1.8 seconds up the road, is too far ahead to be caught. He's defending, he's covering Kai Burke. So Burke is just going to get a beautiful switcheroo. Lovely from Kai Burke. That is how it's done. That is a blueprint, textbook switchback from the Australian. Lovely. So Zadia Raikhal is vanquished for the moment, down to 3rd position. Kai Burke makes it look like child's play. So good racing. Shavesh Sentil P4, then Sito, Adam, Marwa, Yu, Fosey, and Quinones. So 6 laps to go, and still good battles. We've got 3 retirements effectively from this race. Bowen Tao, Ryan Gunavardena, and Kay Sachin, although I think Kay Sachin actually rejoined the field down at the very back of the pack. So this battle for second isn't over yet, folks. Kai Burke is trying to stretch away from Zadia Raikhal, but Raikhal still wants to do business with him. Sentil is doing a great job here in 4th place. Full credit to Shavesh Sentil of the FR Racing team. The Singaporean is having a very quiet race in 4th position, but he's got monstrous pace. Great work from Sentil. As Sito goes wheel to wheel now with Putra Adam, their battle rejoins. Burke in front of Raikhal, then Sentil. Look at Shavesh Sentil. Side by side for 5th position between Adam and Sito, and Ayan Marwa wants a piece of it. Here comes Yuka Po wants in this. Down the inside, Ethan Sito, late bid. Oh, he couldn't have timed that worse, because now he's going to have Ayan Marwa on the inside of him. And that's really cost him some momentum there. So now Ayan Marwa is going to get some support here from Yuka Po on the Explorer. They can both storm past Sito. Yuka Po should help out Ayan Marwa. Trying to go for the inside line. Not going to have the opportunity. Oh, very tricky stuff. So now Ayan Marwa can sense a move on Sito. Sito's moving to cover and defend, and Yuka Po will sweep past nearly both of them. He almost had them both nailed there. Now they're going to drift wide. Ayan Marwa's going to get the inside of Yuka Po, but he hasn't got the pace. So now Sito covers the line again. The Explorer drifts wide. Ayan Marwa tries to get up alongside, has to tuck back in. Behind him is Fezrel Fosey in the DRM Paralin, but he can't get by. Wow, great racing in Senior X30. Still amazing duels. And the only thing that really hasn't changed since the start of the race is Toby Gale in charge in the lead of this race. There goes Yuka Po on the inside of Ethan Sito. The Explorer does the business. It seems that this kart really seems to come into its own in the later stages of this race. So that's where Yuka Po is strong. The Explorer certainly seems to have longevity. If it doesn't have raw pace at the start, it's the consistency that keeps this kart alive. So now he's got to try and close up on the top 5. Putra Adam has broken away a little bit, but now Yuka Po is defending. He clearly feels, well, I've got to P6. I can't do any better than that. So he wants to cover the line now. Well, all of this has been very entertaining. Ethan Sito trying to get the move on Yuka Po. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Can I get through? No chance. But for me, so far in this race, the driver of the race so far has got to be Shavesh Sentil. Great to see the FR Racing driver make such an impact compared to last week. And what a drive into 4th position. So quietly getting on with the job. looking after the tyres, and the pace is strong throughout. Chavez Gentil has found his way to the front on merit. 2 laps to go. Gale has got the win in the bag. Marois is dueling wheel to wheel with Ferros Fossi. Fossi trying to get through. Marois holding his line in the autoing. Can he make a late bid on Cito? He covers his inside line to make it work. But a very tough race between the drivers as they continue to make good work of things. Fossi still hunting down Marois, but look at Miguel Quiñones. Quiñones is now in this mix. So Miguel Quiñones in the bright purple kart finds himself a chance to go for it. Marois covers the line from Fossi, defends. Watch for the cover back. The switch back from Fossi. Quiñones is getting close to them as he makes the bid. Here comes the move from Fossi. Beautiful. Unfortunately, Marois drifts wide, and Marois loses ground to Quiñones. So Miguel Quiñones now goes up the hill, 1 place further up the draw. Toby Gale out in front, goes into the last lap though. Kai Berg in second, Zadia Vrykal in third, and that's the way it looks like it's going to stay. So Toby Gale, Kai Berg, and Zadia Vrykal, they've really worked these tyres well for 14 laps. This is the 14th lap. And Toby Gale has been absolutely sublime. No worries at all for him. The fastest lap of the race, by the way, was not Toby Gale, interestingly enough. That's gone to Kai Berg, I think. No, my apologies. The fastest lap of the race has actually been Yuka Po with a 1:03.1. But Toby Gale has been the ultra-consistent man up front, and that's where he's been able to make it count. So through comes the race leader, Toby Gale, exactly how he wanted it to go. And it's victorious for the Thai youngster. Toby Gale from Pattaya City, having had a very strong run up to this point. He will cross the line, an absolute country mile ahead of the rest by comparison. Toby Gale takes the checkered flag. Kai Berg second, Vrykal third, and Chavez Gentil. What a drive to P4 ahead of Butra Adam and Yuka Po. Well, excellent stuff all the way then. Cito 7th in front of Fossi, Quiñones, and Ayaan Marois in the top 10. But who is going to get the Masters victory? Because that's going down to the wire as well. We watch and wait in the background. It looks like the Masters win is going to go the way of Harith O, just in front of Tiru Kumaran. They're going to come through in a few seconds' time. Out of the final turn. Issa Fouad is going to be in front, but that's Harith O. He takes the win in the Masters category, ahead of Tiru Kumaran. And in third place in the category, that's going to be Darren Formosa in front of Scott Wood and Welasak Imochan. So excellent stuff then. Toby Gale, our race victor, in front of Kai Berg and Zadia Vrykal. And that sets us up for a very intense final indeed. Wow, great stuff here at LYL. A very tame end to the Senior X30 Superheat, but a feisty beginning. And we certainly had plenty of rip-roaring racing all the way through. So now we're going to get to see some truly exciting finals, and we're going to get 4 finals later, not 3, because the Master X30 field is going to get its own final. Toby, after yesterday's chaotic second heat, that's a bit more like it. That's a kind of more what you wanted. What was it like commanding your troops out front?
Yeah, you know, I just had to stay calm and composed, really. It was quite a calm race since the first lap, you know. Just had to build up the gap, hold it, and just keep a steady, strong pace.
Some very tricky decisions in the first couple of laps, but once the kart bit, it seems that the Birolot's really got good rhythm around here.
Yeah, the bill works really well. It's like on rails, if I'm honest. It's, you know, it proves its point. You know, you see a lot of bills up there, and it's great to see that, in my opinion, and really happy with the chassis, and hopefully we can take this, you know, this rhythm into Thailand also, which I'm sure we will.
We saw some signs in the second heat yesterday that it can get frenetic. How critical are those first 3 or 4 laps going to be in the final?
I think just building up the gap in the first few laps is the key thing, but, you know, I can't always guarantee that. I have the likes of other drivers, you know, they have really strong pace, and I'll just have to go with the flow, really.
Good job so far, Toby. Keep it up.
Thank you.